Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us this evening, November 7th, 2022. This will be a special village board meeting in lieu of November 8th due to the elections occurring at the Village Hall. So with that, please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Lana, roll call, please.
Mayor DeBold,
Here.
Trustees Brockman,
Here.
Carroll,
Here.
Chapman,
Here.
Kirkland, Luciano, and Selfridge.
Here.
Okay, we do have a quorum. Trustee Luciano is out of town this evening. Are there any citizens wishing to address the village board this evening? Seeing none, we will move into this evening's consent agenda. Item number 1 will be an approval for the regular meeting minutes of October 25th, 2022. Approval of the committee of the whole meeting minutes, October 25th, 2022. Approval of the accounts payable in the amount of $426,372.66. Approval of the payment amount of $106,136.50 to Safety Line Equipment Corporation for the Public Works Facility. Number 5 would be approval of the payment amount of $13,134 to Core and Main for water meters. Number 6 is approval of the payment in the amount of $13,975.50 to Tesca for the comp plan update. And finally, payment in the amount of $88,541.62 to the State of Illinois Treasurer for the Black Road resurfacing project from I-55 to River Road. Are there any items a board member has a question or wish to remove? If not,
I
take a
move to
motion.
approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Motion Kirkland, second Selfridge. Roll call, please.
Carroll,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Kirkland,
Yes.
Selfridge,
Yes.
and Brockman.
Yes.
All right. Move into reports of communications. Lon, was there anything that you had?
No, sir.
Thank you. I do not have anything for the evening. Let's move right into this evening's order of business. Item number 1 would be consideration for approval of an ordinance for the levy and collection of taxes for the Village of Shorewood, Will County, Illinois, fiscal year beginning April 1, 2022, ending March 31st, 2023. And Ms. Burkholder, these next couple of items are a little more housekeeping, but we will let Ms. Burkholder explain.
Thank you. I'll be quick. The first order of business is the 2022 tax levy. These are the taxes levied on real property that we will collect in 2023. The only proposed change to the 2022 levy over last year's extension is that increase to the police pension fund as required by our actuarial reports from our fiscal year that ended back in March. The impact ought to be pretty nominal depending on how the EAV changes year over year. And of course, we just don't have that data yet. But I'd be happy to take any questions. We can't take action on this. We do need a second read.
What's the amount of the levy, Ann?
Total amount of the proposed levy is $1,899,318.29.
Does anybody have any questions for Ms. Burkholder regarding the first agenda item? All right, with that, we'll move into item number 2, be consideration for approval of an ordinance abating the taxes hereto levied for the year 2022 to pay the principal of and interest in the amount of $14,200,000 general obligation bond series 2021 Village of Shorewood, Will County, Illinois. Ms. Burkholder.
Thank you again. The abatement ordinance, when filed with the county, will prevent them from levying a tax to pay our principal and interest on those bonds for the Public Works facility. We don't need that property tax revenue as we have identified alternate revenue sources to make the bond payments next year. You can waive the second read on this if you so wish. If you don't, we'll come back to it in 2 weeks.
So again, on item number 2, we can waive the second read and approve this one, or we can leave it be as a first read and come back to this on November 22, I believe will be our next meeting.
That amount's set in stone, right? That for 20 years?
I'm sorry?
That amount that we're paying, that's set in stone, isn't it, for 20 years?
Yeah.
Okay. Excuse me, Rick. Did you say something?
I was just saying, my opinion, when we're dealing with that, would be to at least take the next read, okay?
Not a problem. We'll leave it at that.
Please.
We'll- Absolutely. We'll address it on the second read on the 22nd. All right. Item number 3, be consideration for approval of an ordinance granting a variance from section 1010-6 permitted signs to allow 2 additional primary wall signs for Pizza Ranch located 19747 Northeast Frontage Road, Village Shorewood. Ms. Engel.
As you know, Pizza Ranch is under construction at 19747 Northeast Frontage Road. It's a freestanding building. There's a restaurant with buffet and table service and a family-oriented arcade area. Based on the sign ordinance, they are only allowed to have 1 primary wall sign, which would face Northeast Frontage Road on the front of their building. They've come forward requesting a variance to allow 2 additional signs. They would like to install this fun zone sign over the entrance to the arcade on their primary facade. The sign is 31.3 square feet. And they would also like to install a second Pizza Ranch sign, which is the same size as the one in the front at 75.6 square feet. This would be on the south side of their building facing towards Jefferson Street. Because this building is not in a PUD and is a freestanding building and isn't on the corner, they really are allowed less signage than almost every other restaurant in town, so we think this is a reasonable request and recommend in favor of it. In addition to the 3 wall signs, they'll also be putting up a highway-oriented sign on the old sign that was there from when it was a hotel, and they'll be putting up some awning signs. All of those meet code, though. If you agree with this, there's an ordinance which you can approve. We'll attach an exhibit that shows the location of the 2 proposed signs and let them get on their way. In all other respects, they meet the sign code.
Wasn't this also reviewed through planning and zoning?
It was reviewed through planning and zoning. We discussed it originally a little bit when they came forward for their conditional use permit, but they weren't ready to determine exactly what signs they needed. So we had a separate public hearing at the Planning and Zoning Commission last week. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended unanimously in favor.
Very good. Anybody have any questions for Ms. Engel?
If there's none, I will make a motion to approve an ordinance granting a variance from section 10-10-6 permitted signs to allow 2 additional primary wall signs for Pizza Ranch located at 19747 Northeast Frontage Road, and I will waive the second read.
Second.
Motion Brockman, second Carroll.
I have a question.
Oh,
Do we have an anticipated open date yet for them?
We do not. They're not always very predictable with their construction schedule. They're doing the general contracting themselves, so we don't have an anticipated date. We imagine it'll be early 2023.
Thank you.
We do have a motion by trustee Brockman, seconded by trustee Carroll. Roll call, please.
Chapman?
Yes.
Kirkland?
Yes.
Selfridge?
Yes.
Brockman?
Yes.
And Carroll.
Yes.
All right, sign ordinance is approved. Item number 4, be consideration for approval of the purchase of bulk road salt in the amount of $130,000 for this winter. Public Works Director Noriel Noriega.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, it's getting to become that time of year. We're preparing for our winter season. We normally, historically, year after year, have participated with State of Illinois' joint purchasing process. This year's agreement that was out for bid for IDOT is with Cargill. Our order this year was for 2,000 tons. We are allowed to order as low as 80% of that and up to 120% of that. The bid is a little bit higher than we have received historically over the last 2 seasons. Last year was $61.18. This year is $81.47. We have a budget this year of 130,000, so we'll be taking approximately our 80% minimum unless it's a real bad winter. So we are recommending Village Board approve a purchase order for bulk road salt purchase to Cargill not to exceed 130,000 for our winter snow removal operations. Any questions?
I like how you put the different years in there, but I thought one year we paid over $100.
I was gonna say, yeah, there was a few years back, it got up to in the 90s, if
I
I
didn't,
recall.
I didn't think it was that far back, but it's not on here, so,
It was in 2013, 2014, that time frame. My former employer paid almost 120 a ton.
Do we have any salt left from last year?
Oh, we're full.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good, okay.
We won't order till the end of the season.
I thought we did, but.
Good.
Will we use the 1.6 tons?
We use about 1.8 tons.
Okay.
A year, a season. I'm trying to put, again, same level of service, but like a low salt diet with staff. But that is a long process, training. But for 80 lane, center lane miles that we have in town, that's about equivalent to 160 lane miles throughout the entire village. 1,800 tons is actually pretty decent.
So when Noriel's referring to salt diet for roadways, there's obviously a big push out there for salt conservation through municipalities and roadways, so it's not in our storm systems, and they've done very well at maintaining the roadways throughout the village with minimal impact elsewhere.
and they can use the salt you're ordering, you can use that to make brine, right?
That is correct.
There's no difference in that.
And our new Public Works facility is going to be set up with the brine equipment. We have more tanks, so we'll have hopefully, I don't want to say better, and predominantly we'll be able to attack it earlier with anti-icing operations to help reduce our salt needs.
Improved efficiencies.
Yes, sir.
There we go.
With the new place, you shouldn't have to move the raccoons out of the way first before you get at the brine tank, so.
Well, unless somebody's got any other questions, take a motion to buy some road salt.
I'll make a motion for approval of the purchase of bulk rolled salt from Cargill Incorporated Salt Road Safety in the amount not to exceed $130,000 for the 2022-2023 winter season.
Second.
Motion Selfridge, second Carroll. Roll call, please.
Kirkland.
Yes.
Selfridge.
Yes.
Brockman.
Yes.
Carroll.
Yes.
And Chapman.
Yes.
All right, road salt's approved. Item number 5E, consideration for approval of the contract with Arbortech Services in the amount not to exceed $35,000 for an annual tree pruning program. Waive the bid process. Public Works Director Noriel Noriega.
Thank you again. So it's also becoming that time of year. So when we're not pushing snow and in our winter operations with snow removal, we are out there pruning trees. Our goal is a 7-year program. We have approximately 11,000 trees. Of that, 7,700-ish parkway trees. So our goal, again, is about 1,000 trees pruned every year. Unfortunately, we're unable to meet that demand just in-house, so we do contract with a local tree vendor. Now, this year, again, just like similar with many years, Arbortech has been our contractor that we have contracted with to help. So this year, we have $35,000 budgeted. Historically, we've asked other firms, we've actually asked a number of firms this year, and none of them wanted to provide any kind of written documentation, but we have 2 that had verbally told us it's 15% more than what we quoted last year. So with that, Arbortech is asking for a small increase in their fee per tree. This is the first in over 10 years that they had asked us for any kind of increase. Arbortech also performs and donates their time and equipment and staff to help us with our tree ceremony that we do here in the town center. So, staying within budget, we are asking you approve, recommend waive the bid process and award the contract to Arbortech in the amount not to exceed $35,000, which should give us about 686 trees pruned. Any questions?
Are you having them chip and haul away the debris too?
Yes.
Okay.
I move to approve a contract with Arbor Tech Services, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $35,000 for our annual tree pruning program and waive the bid process.
I'll second.
Motion Kirkland, second Selfridge. Roll call, please.
Selfridge,
Yes.
Brockman,
Yes.
Carroll,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
and Kirkland.
Yes.
Item number 5 has been approved. Item number 6 will be consideration for approval of proposed professional engineering service with Christopher Burke Engineering not to exceed $18,900 for the completion of the source water protection plan. Back to our Public Works Director.
Thank you again. So in 2019, IEPA put out and began to require all municipality water distribution systems to provide and create a source water protection plan. Because of our size, which is limited to, I think it's 3,000 in persons up to 49,999, our deadline is this upcoming July of 2023. We were notified recently that this wasn't completed back in 2019, so we are looking to try to complete that this coming year to be able to meet the deadline. I was going to go through the budget process and ask for it, and then, of course, try to start it, but CBEL has confirmed to me that our sanitary sewer I&I design is almost $30,000 under budget. So we do have funds available. This is not a budgeted item. This source water protection plan that is required by IEPA allows us to be able to develop and identify any hazards that are close to our wells and such, so that we can also come up with plans to help protect this. This is still going to be required after we even switch to lake water because this is our backup system. So we are asking, we are recommending approval of CBEL's proposal for professional engineering services for the completion of our source water protection plan not to exceed $18,900. Any questions?
This is a required document by IEPA that we must maintain.
So we don't really have a choice.
Correct.
I'll make a motion for approval of the proposal of professional engineering services with Christopher Burke Engineering in the amount not to exceed $18,900 for the completion of our source water protection plan.
I'll second.
Motion Selfridge, second Chapman. Roll call, please.
Brockman,
Yes.
Carroll,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Kirkland,
Yes.
and Selfridge.
Yes.
All right, number 6 has been approved. Item number 7 will be consideration for approval of proposal for professional engineering services with Christopher Burke Engineering for Phase 2 design, Phase 3 construction services for the 2023 MFT street resurfacing project in the amount not to exceed $105,776. Back to our Public Works Director.
Thank you again. So this is for our next year's resurfacing contract. We are, the basic scope of our resurfacing contract is patching, pavement grinding, patching, asphalt overlay, hazardous sidewalk and curb repairs, and ADA improvements at the intersections. It is an aggressive schedule for us with the resurfacing. Thinking about what has happened in the past when a lot of these incomplete subdivisions were left to us, what did we, as a village, tried to do in the 2006, 7, 8 timeframe? And we finished all of those roadways. Well, fast forward now 15 years later, many of those roadways are all coming to and looking for a need of resurfacing. We're continuing to watch. We were aggressive last year, and we were hoping that we were catching up, but this year it looks like that, upon our inspection and using the IMS report, we're near, and we're going to be targeting close to 5.2 miles. This is a big contract. We are going to be looking that, again, just for us, is that we are just looking for our budget process here with the village board. We know that we're going to be going through a number of discussions here and how much we might be able to allocate, so we are going to be prepared to be able to adjust our lists accordingly, but at least this will be able to start the process with the goal of putting this contract out for bid into February and March ahead of the construction schedule. If you recall, we were able to do that this past year with a bid opening in February, and we beat the big increase of oil prices, and we were able to finish almost 4.6 miles and with only 1.8 million. This year, the 5.2 is getting close to a little over 3 million amount. And that is including a little bit higher contingency due to the, volatile diesel fuel surcharges. We're hoping something levels out over the winter, but again, we have to compensate for such. So CBEL's proposal includes Phase 2, design engineering, and also Phase 3, using their 2016 fee structure. Our long-lasting relationship with them so far is giving us that benefit. It also includes design work for Rebuild Illinois requirements, because we hope to be able to use Rebuild Illinois funds for this as well to help offset some of our capital costs for this. Staff is recommending CBEL's proposal for Phase 2 and Phase 3 in the amount of not to exceed $105,776 for our 2023 MFT resurfacing contract.
Oriel, Mayor, I just have one question.
Yes, sir.
Just to clarify, what I think I heard was the increase for this coming year is all based on the cost of asphalt? I wonder how them windmills are gonna pump that asphalt out.
So of course, as Noriel mentioned, it's a pretty aggressive schedule. So if we need to tweak it back a little bit, we will, but we are trying to stay ahead of the schedule. The village has always been responsible at maintaining our road system, so we want to stay with that program, so.
Okay, thank you.
I move to approve a proposal for professional engineering services with Christopher Burke Engineering for Phase 2 design and Phase 3 construction services for the 2023 MFT street resurfacing project in the amount not to exceed $105,776.
I'll second.
Motion Kirkland, second Selfridge. Roll call, please.
Carol,
Yes.
Chapman.
Yes.
Kirkland,
Yes.
Selfridge.
Yes.
And Brockman.
Yes.
All right, item number 7's been approved. Business item number 8 would be a consideration for approval and the proposal from the amount of Sievert crane and hoist for the crane assembly system at the Public Works Facility in the updated amount of $39,835. This item may look familiar to everybody. Noriel can just help further explain. There's some adjustments on there, but to keep it clean for everybody's person so you can see it, he will give everybody the updated information.
Apologize, last presented, the proposal's the same, I just grabbed the wrong number when I presented it to you. I should have grabbed the $39,835 number and presented it and asked for your permission to use that for the ordering. I grabbed the wrong one, which was for the July 22 number. So the one that I was supposed to grab again is, ordering it after August 1st for totaling $39,835 for our Public Works facility, the 5-ton crane. Any questions?
I move to approve a proposal from Sievert Crane and Hoist for the crane assembly system at the new Public Works facility in an updated amount of $39,835.
Second.
Motion Kirkland, second Selfridge. Roll call, please.
Chapman.
Yes.
Kirkland,
Yes.
Selfridge.
Yes.
Brockman.
Yes.
And Carol.
Yes.
All right, number 8's approved. Item number 9, be consideration for approval of the purchase in the amount of, for purchase of a 2023 Ford F-250 Super Duty Crew Cab four-wheel drive truck from Terrapelli Ford, not to exceed $70,000. Public Works.
So these are items that we have in our Public Works budget for capital improvement project, capital purchases. This is the pickup truck that will be assigned to our Assistant Public Works Director. I am looking for approval to order. Now, the difficult part was we were supposed to put this order earlier this year, but because of supply chain issues, material delivery, staff time, the shortened window to be able to order, we were not able to. So now the new window has come out open to us to be able to put our order in. As described to me last week, the window is going to be this week, beginning today and all the way ending to this end of the week Friday. It's not a big window. There has been small talk about trying to extend that window, but so far, to my knowledge, nothing has come about that. What makes it even more difficult is they haven't released the pricing. Usually, I'm able to present to you our government price and how much it's going to cost us for this vehicle. I'm also able to provide you the cost estimate from our vendors, how much it's going to be to upfit it for our safety lighting and also upfit it for our snow removal packaging. All of these items are, none of the vendors are going to hold it because delivery. We placed the order today, but we will not get it for almost 40 weeks, until almost late next year. So this will be coming out of the 2023 budget as well. I wish I had better news and it was, easier for me to be able to say, here's the price and this is what we're going to be able to do. I come here with just the will, the want to be able to place the order. We're going to get government pricing. I'll present that to you at a later date as soon as when we're ready to purchase it. We will be looking at all of our Sourcewell avenues for our safety lighting. I gave you the budgets of what we are presenting in terms of safety lights for it and snowplow, but I don't have an actual price provided by Ford yet. So I'm asking for permission to be able to place the order for our purchase of a 2023 Ford F-250 Super Duty Crew Cab 4x4 pickup truck from Tirapelli Ford in the amount not to exceed $70,000.
Noriel, that's going to apply for the next couple of items as well, correct?
That is
About
correct.
About a 40-week lead time.
40-week, maybe more for the 1 ton.
All right. Attorney, can we put 9, 10, 11 as one motion?
Yes, sir.
So if everybody's aware of that, if that's okay with everybody, we're willing to take a motion and we can do 9, 10, and 11 since it's all vehicles. As Noriel's mentioning, it's about a 40-week lead time, and this is just going to be an authorization to go ahead and get the order placed. So unless anybody has an objection to that.
I just have one question, Mayor.
Sure.
Are these 2023 model years or 2020?
We hope so. We don't
okay.
know what we're going to get.
You don't know.
Right.
Okay.
We're going to place the order today, this
And
week.
see when it gets built.
And then see when it gets built, whatever the year it gets released.
Okay. That was all.
Okay, I'm going to give a shot at this.
All right.
I move to approve the purchase of a 2023 Ford F-250 Super Duty Crew Cab 4x4 pickup truck from Tirapelli Ford in the amount not to exceed $70,000, and also a 2023 F-350 Extended Cab 4x4 pickup truck from Tirapelli in the amount not to exceed $75,000, and a 2023 F-550 one-ton dump truck from Tirapelli in the amount not to exceed $110,000.
I think you did a fine job.
Wow, thank you.
I'll second.
Motion Kirkland, second Carroll. Roll call, please.
Kirkland.
Yes.
Selfridge.
Yes.
Brockman.
Yes.
Carroll.
Yes.
And Chapman.
Yes.
All right, so items 9, 10, 11 for the place the orders are approved. And item number 12 will be consideration for approval to purchase an ice rink from Supreme Sports. So I'll grab this one. This is an item that's been talked about the last year or so with different, trying to find winter opportunities. You know, we got the big sled hill that we use out there at Four Seasons Park. Trustee Carroll has, knew that we had discussed it at one of the conversations, that this would also be a nice amenity at some point. He had to go ahead and reached out and made a couple of phone calls. Some of this is still available. So myself, Trustee Carroll, the village administrator, we went and we met with said vendor, and what we're proposing is the 60 by 120 version of this rink. A lot of this is reusable, and it can be scaled up or scaled down. We cited a location out at Four Seasons Park that has ample parking, a water source, relatively flat, so that way this could be set up. And they came in at a price tag, if I don't have that in right from like $8,400.
$167.
Thank you. And that's full install this year, so we're not going to task any of our public works folks at getting this up and down, but They will put this, we're hands off, but they can get this up this year still. Kind of a last minute thing. We didn't expect it, but I got to agree, this would be a great amenity, another something different to try for our residents in the winter. So unless anybody's got an objection, I'd take a motion to approve that, and we can get that order placed and have an ice rink for this year and see how it goes.
I have one question. Will there be lighting on it?
So we've got some opportunities regarding lighting. A couple of things will vary. One, there's some potential we can maybe use some of the lights out at the ball field. If not, we can do one of those LED rentals on a portable scenario, so that way there's no noise, it's solar powered, and then during the water containment issue we had down in Highland, when they used some light plants down there, they used some solar powered LED ones that were very quiet. There's no noise, so it didn't disrupt the neighbors or anything, and we can get those on some timers. So that way, for the wonderful weekends of the winter, we can have something out there, and there'll be some lighting set up out there. So we've got a couple of options regarding lighting, and we'll work on securing that component as well. But we wanted to get on their list if everybody was okay with it for this.
No, I like the idea. I think it's a great idea. With that, I'd make a motion for approval of purchase an ice rink from Supreme Sports.
Second.
Motion Selfred, second Carroll, and again, just for the reference, we'll add it to the record one more time, $8,167. Roll call, please, Lana.
Selfridge,
Yes.
Brockman,
Yes.
Carroll,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
and Kirkland.
Yes.
All right, number 12 is approved. Moving into our reports for the evening, Building Department.
Thank you, Mayor. New housing starts are slowing down, but there is a lot going on at the moment. There are a lot of holes in the ground. There's a lot of houses that need to be finished. So we'll be busy all the way through June, and we'll see what happens in the new year for new housing starts. The Verton House is inching along. I did see Nicor do their disconnect, and Julie has been out there marking utilities, so there's progress. We just haven't seen anything come into the building department just quite yet. So I'm waiting for an update from the owner. That's it.
Very good. Community Development.
Critical Grind is now open. That's at 852 Sharp Drive. If you haven't been there, it's coffee, snacks, and board games. We've been focusing a lot on existing businesses. We're going out for business license renewal, which, thanks to the recent code update, should be much easier this year. We will be emailing out the business license renewal forms. People can contact us if they'd prefer a mailed version, but they'll be able to click a link now and pay online on the village's website, which will be a nice opportunity for them. We're also going to start really highlighting our existing businesses. Isabel Bohanix, our intern, she's been working on a directory of Shorewood businesses, so that way we can put that up on our website and people can go, they can look through the directory if they're looking for a business in Shorewood. That way they can shop locally. They may not know about all of them. We're also starting to do a feature on our website and on our social media where we occasionally highlight a business. It could be a new business. It could be an existing business. It could be a business with something to celebrate. So we're going to go live tomorrow with a feature on the Timbers of Shorewood, who's celebrating their 20th anniversary.
Very good, thank you. Finance?
Thank you. I did want to quickly draw your attention to the Police Pension Fund Municipal Compliance Report that the administrator emailed out back on Friday. The pension fund is required to submit this to the village board before the village board can levy a tax on behalf of the pension. So do make sure to review that before we approve our tax levy. And if you've got any questions, reach out to me or the pension fund accountants at any time. Thank you.
Thank you. Parks?
Good evening. Our winter newsletter is at the printers and it will be delivered to mailboxes within the next 2 weeks. We are full for food vendors for the holiday market, but we do still have some spaces for other vendor booths and we will be accepting applications through the 15th of this month. Thank you.
Thank you. Police Department?
No report, Mr. Mayor.
Really?
Perhaps an explanation.
That's a good thing. We'll take it.
Quiet.
Perhaps an explanation of why I'm not shaven tonight.
Well, there you go. We can do that.
Officers have, again, this year entered into the No Shave November, and we're going to extend it to a Double Down December. Each officer, including myself, donates $50 to not shave, and that money is collected and then given to a family in Shorewood who might need it before the holidays.
So do you have to pay 50 again for December?
Yes.
Cool.
Well, it used to be 25, so we made it all 50. So, pardon my stubble.
Very good. Thank you. Public Works.
Thank you. Well, crews are, busy with our leaf pickup program, and you may start seeing some holiday lighting being installed in and around town center. So those are our two main tasks that we are continuing with and beginning this week. If you have not driven down Black Road is completed by IDOT over I-55. It is open, fully open, completely open, eastbound and westbound lanes to and from Shorewood into Joliet. The last update I have is 52 Windstone traffic signal. CBEL has completed a technical memorandum and has submitted that to IDOT for their review. Please allow IDOT a minimum of 8 to 12 weeks for their review. Once that is completed, they'll move into a topographic survey of the intersection, and they'll start the intersection design. And that'll take a little bit of time as well. Any questions? Thank you.
Administrator.
So a couple of things. First off, we spent, 6 hours today in negotiations with Public Works. And I'm pretty sure we'll be able to bring something to executive session and then come out of exec for a vote if you so choose on this. Couple things yet to do, but I think we made a lot of progress today. So thanks to Noriel and Ann, our attorney Adam Durkin did a lot of work, and then the representatives from 150, Nico Messino, Steve Seilar, Steve Karpowitz, and Brian Beamer. So it was a very long day, but a very productive day. The storms this weekend, nobody asked, but we did have a little bit of damage in town. Public Works went around and picked stuff up. We fared better than some of our neighbors. We really had a couple of brownouts and quick light flickerings and stuff like that, but we didn't have anybody without a power for any extended time. November 22nd, I will be away at the next board meeting. I think I'll share that with most of you. Two quick things at the end, though. Anyone that's felt the pain of reading your work email or your village email account where it's vil.shorewood.il.us and you had frustrations with that, or perhaps writing that in a very small box somewhere, we're going to be doing a domain change. We're going to be changing it to a government account, which is going to be shorewoodil.org. We're going to be doing
.gov.
.gov. Sorry.
We went to a .gov.
We also did buy up all of the other domains that might be utilized to spoof us. So the .orgs, the .coms, the .nets.
Will come to us.
This will all be confiscated so nobody else can create those ghost accounts. Anyway, the work on this will be done in early December. We'll have a presumably 24 to 48 hour disruption. We've chosen amongst staff a day that'll least inconvenience everybody with payroll or reports or all those other things. There will be more about this. All of the current domains for the website and the email will be directed to our new ones, so there shouldn't be anything lost, but there may potentially be some disruption, so we'll be making sure everybody knows, and eventually we'll transition all of our documents and all that other stuff. And then lastly, there's always discussions about the website. We've got a website committee this week that staff will be working on to begin the work on updating the website so it flows better and functions better, and then part of that will be sustainability for that, for its content and its refresh. That's it.
All right, we'll move into our trustee comment section. Trustee Brockman.
Thank you, Mayor. Next meeting for planning and zoning will be December 7th. Too early for an agenda.
Very, very good.
So other than that, that's all I have.
No problem. Trustee Carroll.
No report. Yes, sir.
Trustee Chat.
The only comment I have, I'd like to thank Trustee Carroll for coming up with this idea for the rink. I mean, the kids in the winter, they're stuck in the house. So this is great. Hope it works. hope this really comes out good to where we can expand on it, so, thank you.
You're welcome, thanks.
Very good, thank you. Trustee Kirkland.
No, nothing, thank you.
Trustee Luciano is absent, and trustee Selfridge.
No report, Mayor.
All right. With that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion Kirkland, second Selfridge. Roll call, please.
Get back to
Brockman.
Mama early, Tom.
Yes.
Carroll.
Yes.
Chapman.
Yes.
Kirkland.
Yes.
And Selfridge.
Yes.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.